real world, like actual people, never. Like I've never met a person that even never even met a person that went a little bit into Bitcoin and then sold all of his. Like even a little understanding usually keeps people in the Bitcoin ecosystem. Like not even like they haven't understood, like they couldn't explain coherently what the difficulty adjustment is, but they understood that Bitcoin is good for them, and even those never sold Bitcoin. And I'm curious, like, why that network effect is so strong. I mean, on-chain analysis is also kind of showing that, where people holding on to Bitcoin for a very long time and just leaving the coins where they are. For the most part, of course, they move at different times depending on when you see this interview. Maybe in like 1 year, like there's different things going on. Short-term price move, short-term hodlers are moving it, long-term hodlers are moving it, all that. Like I'm not an expert in that at all. That's why I invite like James Jack and Matt Crosby for those things. But in general, people like buy Bitcoin, they understand it and they hold it and they don't go back. Maybe they diversify. There might be OGs that say like, hey, I held Bitcoin now. I bought 100 Bitcoin in like 2015 and now I'm freaking wealthy and I will buy a villa for like 10, 20 Bitcoin or something like that. Yeah, this might happen, but not like selling and moving on to a whole different thing.
Yeah, I think part of that is, I would say, with my experience of the people that I know that have gotten into Bitcoin, but they don't really understand Bitcoin, there's like, I would say it comes down to two things. And one is they just look at the all-time chart and they just go, well, it was down here some whatever years ago, 5, 6, whatever time frame you pick, and it's up here now. Maybe I should just hold on to it for a similar amount of time and see if it does the same thing, because nothing else in my portfolio has done anything remotely like that. So let's just, what's the harm? Why not do 5% of what I like? Let's see. So I think that's part of it, the history of what Bitcoin has done. And I think the second part is the scarcity aspect. I think once you have something that you know that there's this fine, I think there's a real mental thing about that. It's like, okay, there's only going to be 21 million. I mean, that is driven home. I wouldn't say that it's like the most well-known thing about it, but it's pretty high up there. Like you don't have to go very far down the rabbit hole before that point is made abundantly clear to you, that is kind of the core thing that gives this thing its value, or it's a big part of it, certainly, that there's only going to be 21 million. And so people understand scarcity and they go, oh, well, I have a piece of this pie and the pie is not getting any bigger. And if I get rid of that and I look at this chart, the chances that I'm going to be able to get back in at a lower price seems not great. Maybe I'll be able to time it just perfectly, but maybe I should just buy it and just sit on it and see what happens. And I think you don't have to have a deep understanding to appreciate those two things right there.
100%. It's like I always have a deep fear that when money is coming in, to miss out. And at the same time of like, because like I have to spend Bitcoin, like I'm earning Bitcoin, so I have to spend Bitcoin. And it's always like when it goes down, I'm like, oh shit, now I have to soon sell. And then if it goes down, I'm like, oh, like I want to wait. And so it always goes wrong. Like it's like timing the market is like so bad. Like you cannot do it, you should not do it. And it's like, it's not possible, at least not for me. And I wouldn't trust anyone that says it's possible. But there is some fear going on of like, oh, I really don't want to sell my Bitcoin. The first time I had to sell my Bitcoin because I was earning my Bitcoin was very hard to get over the hump. It was like 4 years where I only hodled, got my stack bigger and bigger. But then all of a sudden, I earned Bitcoin, so my stack got bigger directly. But at some point, you need to cover some bills and expenses, so you cannot keep all of them. So I had to sell or spend some Bitcoin to go over that hump of selling of using that sell button in whatever app you're using. That was hard. Like I needed like 2-3 weeks to really think about that. Like I postponed that. That's so hard. I was even considering just getting like a 50K loan before I even sell anything. But I'm against borrowing against the Bitcoin, at least for most people. So I don't know, like there's a really strong mental block for me of like selling Bitcoin, which is not natural. Like you should just like be able to sell it because it's money. You know, if you want to buy that house, buy that car, buy that whatever, retire yourself, retire your wife, like whatever you want to do, go do it.
Retire
It's
your
money.
wife? Is that what you said?
Retire a wife, yeah.
What does that mean? Just like get rid of her?
No, maybe I should clarify. I'm usually using this making like so she does not have to work anymore, and like so she can retire.
It sounded like a euphemism for like pushing a pillow over her face or something.
I have to sell Bitcoin. I have to buy some pillows.
Yeah, I gotta get those chairs back. Yeah, do you know anybody that's pivot out of Bitcoin to get back into chairs? You know what? I'm getting back into chairs, guys.
Buying some chairs now.
Yeah, sold all my Bitcoin for the stack of chairs.
That's crazy. But yeah, like I think there are not a lot of people that actually do that. But really cool. Before we go to the end routine, I have one question to ask each and every one of my returning guests, and you have been returned on like 2 or 3 times or 4 times now. And the question is, what have you learned outside of Bitcoin since your last appearance? I think like half a year ago, something like that.
Well, this is unrelated to Bitcoin exactly. It's more to do with the story that I wrote. So this story is the first time that I've really paid attention to how I like the structure of a story, the way that I used to write. And I've written a lot of stuff. Not that it's ever been published. It's just all been kind of things that is whatever, just stuff that I've written, because none of it's ever really been good enough to publish. And the number one thing that I've learned is that there is a proper way to do things. You can go and write a song and write a book or do whatever you want, but if you want it to be monetarily successful, there's probably some ways that you can do stuff. And I imagine the version of me 5 years ago hearing myself say this would be like, screw that, you can carve your own path. And yeah, you might be able to. There's a chance that you can go set out and cut a new path and find some new way to make a movie or whatever it is. But if you're trying to tell a story, it really is helpful at the very least to know why certain movies are successful. Like there's a reason there's a 3-act structure. There's a reason why various things happen at different points in movies or in books. And if you ignore all of that because you just want to write a series of things that happened, you might nail it. You also might not. And I think this is true of Bitcoin as well. Like there's a lot of people that have messed up the process of acquiring Bitcoin or self-custody. There's a lot of failed lessons out there. And you don't have to repeat those people's mistakes. You can learn from them. You can go online and you can listen to BTC sessions and he can walk you through how to set up a cold storage. Like you can do whatever you want. There's no reason that you have to just sit there and be like, well, here I am alone in my house. I've got a notepad and my brain. How do I get Bitcoin? Like, well, you got a whole internet at your fingertips. Probably you can ask some questions. You've got AI now. There's a lot to be learned from any field. And I would say, yeah, I'm not suggesting that you should second guess yourself, but I think you should question the way that you do things, no matter what it is. And it seems like every, I don't know, week at least, or month or so, I'm learning some new way to do something. Sometimes it works well, sometimes it doesn't, but at least it's a new way of doing something. And when it comes to like this book, I'm hoping you are able to listen to that first quarter of it that I sent you. it would be yeah, maybe the difference between the two that I sent you is significant in my opinion, and that comes down to trying to do it my own way and then trying to do it a way that makes a little bit more sense. And like there's movies that you watch and maybe you don't understand story. Not I don't mean you, Robin, specifically, but you, the larger you. Yeah, I'm sure there's movies that people have watched out there and they go, "Wow, that was a great movie." They walk away from it. It just worked. And then other ones you walk away from and you're like, "That couldn't tell you why exactly, but that was not a great movie. It just did not work." And there are reasons for that. It's not just because this director was behind it. It could be that because he's a bad storyteller, I suppose, certainly. But there are successful movies, and there's a reason that they are successful, and there's a reason that movies that fail and aren't very told very well. There's a reason for that. It's not just dumb luck and the way that the universe was configured at that time. There's reasons for these things, and it would behoove a person that's trying to get better in some field to do some research in that field and not just be like, I'm going to figure it out on my own. You might, but probably not.
I have an interesting take on that, and I 100% agree with that. I see a lot of content creators, especially Bitcoin content creators, that put out a piece of content and then claim that they are shadow banned. And then I look at the title, the thumbnails, all of those things, and I'm like, you're not shadow banned. Your title and your thumbnail and the first 1 minute of your video just sucks.
You shadow ban yourself.
You shadow ban yourself. And I'm really like, search the mistake first in you, not in the audience. Most likely you did something wrong. And I'm like amazed by the amount of people in the content creation space. I mean, this might just extend also to book writing and all of that, but I see it especially with YouTubers saying like, oh, like I all of a sudden got shadow banned. Like, no, like if most likely YouTube doesn't care about you. Like that's like very likely the case. Yeah, like there might be some figures that YouTube actually bans. Yes, this is actually happening. But most likely you're not one of them, and most likely you just suck at creating a title, a thumbnail, and a video. And I know that because there are videos that I put out there that got over 100,000 views, and then there are videos that I put out there that get 200. And the difference between them is not YouTube selecting a few videos of mine to selectively shadow ban those specific videos. It's that YouTube tests that piece of content with the audience, and the audience says, yeah, I don't click on that. I don't watch that. I don't like that. And so it's
there's also something to, like with you, the guest, and who, like if you go to Joe Rogan's, he'll have guests that don't even break the 100,000 number of views, or that's few, but there's probably some. And then he's got Elon or Zuckerberg or Donald Trump, and it's like tens of millions of views. And I mean, I don't think any amount of thumbnail or title for those other podcasts would have gotten tens of millions of views. Maybe slightly better, but there's going to be some people that are just like, I'm just not interested in this guest. I don't even know who this person is. And if I click on it, it's like, I'm going to be talking about the leg segments of centipedes today, Joe. And it's just like, okay, well, what do we, I'm going to talk about, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, I just look at Joe Rogan. His last podcast was 21 hours actually ago. He just released one, and it already got 600,000 views.
Yeah, that's but crazy. Who's the guest?
Kurt Metzger. No clue who he is.
Oh, he's a comedian. Okay, yeah, that one will probably break 1 million. He's yeah. It depends on the guest, but you can go to his popular ones. And I think it's probably the Elon or Donald Trump, and it's whatever, like 40 million, 50 million, something.
The most popular one, the second most popular one was with Donald Trump, 61 million views. That's crazy. Okay. Yeah. The first one, I don't know, Pop Laser and Jeremy Corbell. Never heard of those guys.
Huh.
Then
that's the UFO guys. Yeah.
Third is Edward Snowden, then Elon Musk, then Alex Jones. Graham Hancock.
Yeah, and he's a monolithic ancient Earth researcher, explorer guy, goes around looking at pyramids and old ruins and the like, and trying to figure out like how did humanity get to where we're at. He's interesting guy for sure.
JD Vance. Yeah, like some of them I actually don't know. Maybe it's because I'm European and I'm not American. I don't know.
Mm.
But yeah, like 100%. Like there's like it's like you, the person, but like now we're getting like into the weeds of content creation and podcasting. But like if you put out a piece of content and nobody watches it, it's most likely that you suck at the content creation or you're not interesting enough, not that YouTube shadow pans you. And this just like reminds me of what you said of like there's a right way to do things and there's a you just doing things. You just doing things would take a lot of volume and a lot of years for people to actually start to liking it, and maybe it never happens. While if you study like how you actually do things and how you actually like progress in whatever you want to do and get better and get more skilled. I mean, of course, you could go ahead and learn soccer and like you can just have a ball and just like kick the ball around, or you could go ahead and find someone that actually plays decent soccer, and maybe if you're then better than this guy, then find the next one that is even better than you and like work your way up, or like find someone on YouTube that plays really good soccer, and maybe I don't know, Cristiano Ronaldo has some courses, I don't know, probably not, but so like there's in every field someone that does something really good and you can learn from him or from AI or from whatever you want to, or books or whatever you choose to do. And that's probably a better way of just like, oh, I'm shadow banned.
Yeah. I think people are too quick to blame something aside from themselves. Like look in the mirror real quick. I mean, there's the passage in the Bible. It's like remove the splinter from your eye before, or remove the plank from your eye before removing the splinter from your brother's eye. I've plenty of people talk about that kind of thing of like what are you more likely to change, all of YouTube or yourself?
The first thing that every Bitcoiner does, and the most important activity that every Bitcoiner keeps on doing, is buying Bitcoin. And I personally use Relay to buy and sometimes also spend or sell my Bitcoin. And there are two main reasons why I do so. The first one is it's Bitcoin only. They do not do any shit coins. They do not do any cryptos, any stocks, or anything else. This is a tool, an app that is fully focused only and solely on Bitcoin. The second one is self-custody. They give you the keys to your Bitcoin the moment you buy them. You never give them the control over your Bitcoin, and you don't have to trust them because you can verify that you and only you have the keys to your Bitcoin. There's no third-party risk. There's no freezing of your assets. There's no rug pulling. There's nothing of that. Download Relay, the app, on your phone, or go to relay.app on your browser and use code Robin to save fees and get cheaper Bitcoin. I want to tell you about something very special to me. It's called micro-seed. If you hold your Bitcoin in self-custody, and you should, you know how critical it is to secure your seed phrase. You should not have them on paper. You should not have them on anything else than titanium. With micro-seed, you can engrave your 12 or 24 word seed phrase, the entire seed phrase, onto a 1-inch small washer. Yes, just one washer. All 24 words on that one washer. You can hide that thing everywhere. And even better, you don't need to buy a new kit every time you have to get a new wallet. You can make unlimited backups because microseed is not selling the washer. Microseed is selling the device that stamps the washer. You get the full kit with the device, with the washers, with the hammer, with everything you need to get started today, and you can make with that unlimited amount of backups. Go now to microseed.io.